today we are going to talk about morphology and syntax. Good afternoon, teacher. My name is Jocelyn Lascano. I am going to talk about morphological versus syntax inflection. Morphological inflection must be expressed by bound forms, and a syntax inflection may be realized by free forms. The present in inflection morphology in a language depends on the existence of multi-forms of the lexeme. If a lexeme has only one form, then there can be no morphological inflection. And syntax. English has a syntax category of modals or modal auxiliaries. There are used to accompany other verbs. Syntax terms auxiliaries as part of the inflectional system. One of the difference between morphological and syntax use of the terms inflection is that morphologists speak of inflection only when dealing with bound forms. So English has a syntactic category of modals or modal auxiliaries. They are those who accompany other verbs and indicate that this action or state described by the sentences in more than a simple fact. Example, Alicia could go to the birthday party. It is not a simple fact that Alicia goes to a party. There is an elemental or uncertainty. For example, Alicia may go to the birthday party. Alicia can go to the birthday party. Alicia must go to the birthday party. So finally, to be classified as morphological inflection and syntactic categories, must express useful together bound forms. And there are not linked forms. These separate words. Most will be auxiliaries as part of the inflection system of the language. Morphologically, only distinguished the full modals word. Thank you.
Good afternoon, teacher. My name is Alexander Pacari, and I'm going to explain about a structural constraint on morphological inflection. The constraints that the authors find of the realization of inflection and morphological use of the example in Russian. In this part, Russian verbs shows gender agreement with their subject is classified female, masculine, or neither, but only in past tense classifier of similar future or similar state. Another example, this meaning that it is morphological realization of the context depending. And finally, all depend on syntactic context, rather than on this, which is expressed as an inflectional part of the verb.
Good afternoon, teacher, and my name is Natalia Sipch. I am going to talk about inflection and universal grammar. Inflection in linguistics, the change in the form of a word in English, usually the addition of endings to mark distinctions such as tense, person, number, gender, mode, voice, and case. In English, inflection indicates plural note. For example, cat and cats. Note gates and geared and gears. Gears and gears. Third person singular present tense. You will, they, buy, he buys. Past tense, we walk, we in walk. Aspect, I have, called, and called. And comparative big, bigger, and bigger. Remains of the heart in Old English. Inflectional system can also be formed, for example, he hers. A change with the root or main part of the word. Are another type of inflection is a sinks, sink, and goes and gaze. To note a paradigm of all in Select, for example, includes form with internal and change as suffix. The denominator singular is the negative singular, and denominate plural in the singular many languages, such as Latin, Spanish, French, and German. Have a much broad inflectional system. The terms in additional and inflectional are some used more narrowed in the topological classification of language to refer to a subtype of the synthetic language, such as Latin and synthetic language are inflected in the broadest and the most widespread sense of the term. With inflection, inflection is the length power against current over the time in quality estimate of me of the rate at which the decline and plurals power accord can be reflected in the increase of the average price level or and basket of select goods. For services is an economic overcome a period of time. There is in the general level of price often expressed and percentage mean that a unit of currency reflecting by less than it did in previous periods. Inflation refers to approach of word formation in which items are added to the base form of the word to express grammatical means. The word inflection comes from the Latin inflex, meaning to bend. This universal grammar theory suggests that every language has some of the same laws. For example, every language has a what to ask to a question or make sometimes negatives. In addition, every language is a way to identify gender or show that sometimes happened in the past of present. Thank you.
Good afternoon, teacher. My name is Noemi Guaita, and I am going to talk about grammatical function change. Well, this refers to grammatical alteration when the order of the sentences changes. This changes according to the subject and object, also changes according to the form of the verb. There are different types of grammatical function changes. The first is passive. Here the subject is presented as passive while the object is the one who performs the action. For example, here, Paulette eats the apple. The first one is active voice and the second one is the apple is eaten by Paulette is passive. Okay, antipassive. The antipassive contraction is used converting the verb into the intransitive and the agent of the transitive contraction into the unique participant of the intransitive. For example, here, the bear killed people, and the second one, the bear killed the dead people. Okay, causative. It is used when we talk about causes and the subject does not do the action, but someone else do it. For example, I had the article edited and Sam makes us smile. Next, we have applicative. They are often used to put a normally oblique argument into a special focus. For example, Maria ran faster than Juan. And the second one, Maria left Juan behind. Okay, and the last one, non-incorporation. It is a morphological construction in which a noun stem is compounded with a verb stem and yields a derivated verb stem. For example, Brad tried bear hunting for the first time. Note that the nouns must be bear, no plural or determiners. Thank you.